3 months. Very much appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for your support of the channel and everything. I really do appreciate that. Zath chat is more fun with Dirty Waters. I don't know, Rapture, do you think I should get Dirty Water before I talk about the weekend?
No.
All right. So here's the deal, guys. I'm gonna do a quick 3-minute ad break, and then we're gonna get into our Zath chat, and then we'll do some replay analysis. Duckman says we want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
And hello, Cremoa, by the way. All right, so we're gonna start the ad, and then we'll get into this a little bit. All right. Yeah, Raptor, how much have you talked about last weekend on your stream? Just curious.
And on my stream, very little. I talked a little bit about it in my Scuttlebutt video this week. I gave everybody like the 90-second version of kind of what was going on and what we were up against. So that's about it, really.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Let me kill that. Just gonna get a couple of things ready. Now, yeah, see, I thought so. The overlay only works when you're playing the game live. Otherwise, you have to, like, put the overlay on every single time. So that's annoying. Some people have asked me why I'm not using the overlay in Discord. Well, maybe that just explained it right there for you. Okay. Hey. Got 2 minutes left in the ad. I don't want to get started talking about this until that clears. While you're here, Raptor, is there anything special you want me to bring with me this week?
No, I can't think of anything.
Okay. I couldn't either. So
yeah, no, I think you're okay.
That's why I was just wondering.
I got nada.
I got nada as well. Had an ad running, got the nice shirts. Yeah, we can hold the music too. We're gonna have a serious talk. Is that what you want, Duckman? You want a serious talk?
Serious business.
This is serious.
World of Warships is serious business.
That's right. Yes, DeLupus, co-op has arms race as well. Do you have the H&M nice shirt ad in NA? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Usually when we're on the ads, we don't see them. Although that's something I could try doing. I suppose I could try putting my stream laptop logged off of Twitch or maybe on a different browser and just kind of see what you guys see. I hadn't thought about that. That might be a good idea. Zero Mob says, yep. Okay. We have a giveaway going, by the way, guys. Exclamation point ticket gets you in. Don't forget to do that. Make sure you are a follower and you're present. And if your name pops up, then you get to win. Thanks to the last weekend and the upcoming weekend, I've got all these codes that we just need to get rid of. Glacial, what's up? I'm doing fine, thanks. How are you? There we go. People are putting in the tickets. Where are we at in timing? Okay. It looks to me like the ads are just about done. So 1 second, guys. I'm just setting something up. Oh, hey, this is actually kind of a good song for chatting about this. Something happened in here. All right, let's kill the music for our serious talk. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna move into a little bit of a Zach chat. We're gonna talk about some behind the scenes stuff that happened last weekend at the Warships Spring Championship cast. As most of you guys know, C Raptor and I got to go down to Wargaming headquarters and cast the games and all that kind of stuff. So some of you have been wondering how all that stuff worked, and that's kind of why I'm here. C Raptor is joining as well, just to hang out and, of course, add his 2 cents on everything as well. So I guess to set this up, one of the things you guys have to be aware of is this was the first time that we did everything the way that we did it. We have a large room. It's a large rectangular room, and unfortunately, because of that, voices really carry quite a bit. And
I was a huge problem.
You were a huge problem.
Yes, I was a huge problem.
Raptor by default is so. You know, voices tend to fluctuate, right? As you get excited or whatnot. Raptor's voice doesn't fluctuate much. It's like this. My voice goes like that. It's a much bigger fluctuation. So, those poor guys were trying to figure out how can we dial in these guys. You know. Oh, there we go. We should have thrown a mask on you. I never thought about that.
Oh, good. Yes, that would have totally done it. I would have never spoken to Duckman again.
I did have a World of Warships mask you could have borrowed. But anyway, so we've got this rectangular room, okay? Sound bounces off the walls very well. They've got some sound absorbing pads, but it's just a little bit here and there, really not a whole ton. Okay? So imagine that rectangular room. Now, when we were doing the casting, basically Raptor and I are along one of the walls facing the other side of the room, okay, in our PCs. Mar Draco is producing it. He's in a PC facing us, just across from us. And then on the other end of this rectangular room, of course, is Bogsy and Oskans, who joined in for commentating between the battles. So that was how the initial setup was done. The thing is, because of the rectangular room, the voices carry. It's quite very easy to pick up people on different mics and all that kind of stuff. So one of the things we were trying to do is figure out how can we dial in the sound properly. In order to, filter out everything. So at first we tried doing headset microphones that they had. You've seen Bogsy and Oskans and others using those when you watch the Wargaming stream when they've got their headphones on. That's what they gave us to use to start. And it worked okay, right, Raptor? But there was a problem, wasn't there?
The way I understand it is that the headset mic thing just didn't work. Somehow they couldn't feed it into the right thing, and I won't pretend I understand how or why that is. I just know that it is so.
Now,
so like when we left on Friday, they had the headset mics going into the game audio, and it was like, oh, this is great, this is wonderful.
Right.
And then when we came in on Saturday, the entire setup had changed.
Right. And they had a shotgun mic that they had moved from the area for Bogsy and Oskans, and they'd put it over to the caster side. And the idea was, hey, this mic sounds really good, so let's put it by the caster so that everybody can hear them as they talk through it. And I think, if I remember right, one of the problems actually with the headset mic was you came through on my mic, and they were trying
all the time,
almost clear as day. So they were trying to figure out how to fix that. And I almost wonder if we should have just gone back to just have my mic running and that's it. But in any case, they brought the shotgun mic in there, very good quality mic. But the problem came into it when they added some additional complexity to everything. Now, basically, we had to deal with the camera team. Of course, you guys know there's the cinematic camera team that comes through, and they film everything that goes on and all that kind of stuff. And the way that the way that we're doing this right now, and maybe things will change, but the way we do this is one of us, in this case it was Sea Raptor, is streaming our game live in a Discord channel. Okay, and the camera crew picks up on that, and they're watching us, and they're trying to get some cues from us. Where are we looking? They're listening to us talk. What are we talking about? What are we discussing? All that good stuff. So that, you know, we're talking about something, and you guys are seeing, for the most part, that same thing happening on screen. Okay, am I missing anything so far?
No, I mean, no, I think you've got it. I mean, because they're taking our audio, like you said, and they're having to send it to multiple places, right? They're sending my video to the camera team,
right?
And they're sending our audio to the camera team, and they're sending our audio to OBS to smash it all into the stream to send it out to you guys.
And here's where the problem came into play.
And here's where the fight starts, Your Honor.
On Saturday, some of you that watched the early games complained about how Raptor and I sounded like we were about 10 seconds ahead of the video, which, if you think about it, makes sense, because the audio was going into OBS and then being output to the stream. The video was being sent to the camera crew, who were then using this video and then sending a video back to Mara Draco, and then, of course, that is the cinematic camera feed. So if you think about it, the video is going, quite a bit of distance, and so it gets out of sync. And so
You mean the audio?
The audio, well, yeah, the video gets out of sync with the audio, right?
Exactly, because we're in the live game with the camera team.
Mm-hmm.
Our audio, what we're saying, syncs up with what they're seeing at their end.
Yep.
But the audio that we're sending them is delayed getting to them.
Right.
So the audio they're receiving is behind the actual gameplay for them to smash it together and send it back to us,
right,
to code it and send it to Twitch.
Right. So basically what that does is that causes a delay. And I think it actually maybe was more than 10 seconds, but we were talking through it. And unfortunately, I believe with OBS, maybe it's a different app, but long story short, Mara Draco was only able to change the audio delay by about 5 seconds. So it would bring us closer to what you're seeing on the video, but of course that's still not ideal. So the easiest way that they had to fix this was to include the audio feed in what we are putting out with the video. And the problem with that is basically the audio got super compressed when it was sent to the video team, and then of course also compressed when it comes back to Mara Draco in the Discord. And that's what was causing all of the little clip outs and stuff like that as you guys were listening, especially on the second day. Because the shotgun mic wasn't working with Discord, we couldn't use that mic to send the good quality audio over to the camera crew, which, if you think about it, it doesn't really matter because it still would have been compressed and skipped up and all that kind of stuff. So that was one of the issues that we saw there. Jam Dearest, thank you very much for the raid. We're actually talking about last weekend. For those of you guys who jumped in, welcome aboard. So that caused the whole problem there. Now, when you add on top of that the fact that there's a 5-minute delay, the fact that you can't just cut the stream and then start it up again, and then also the fact that you can't just stop everybody from playing the tournament so that we can try to figure things out, it became quite a frustrating experience for viewers and, frankly, for casters as well. And I think everybody was coming out of this saying, we're not happy, essentially.
I guess you're not entirely wrong. I guess for me, it's, the struggle that you and I have is that we can neither see nor hear what everybody else is struggling with, right?
Yeah.
So every now and then I would have a look at Twitch chat, and they were, typically upset, commenting, hey, oh, you guys sound like you're in a tin can. My personal favorite were the ones that were personally insulting us. Like, we could fix it, right? That was the ones that I kind of rolled my eyes at. Like, oh, yeah, no problem. I'll just solve this problem single-handedly, guys. Like, give me a break.
Mm-hmm.
With all of that said, though, it's frustrating to be a part of a production like that everyone's not happy with. And by which I mean, like, extremely unhappy. Anytime you do something like this, there's always something you could have done better, right? You always look at it and go, oh, we'll do that better next time or whatever.
Right.
But something like this is kind of completely out of our hands. Like, I can't fix this problem. This is a tech problem that is kind of introduced by the method that we're choosing to showcase the event, using hardware I don't own, in a setup I don't control, and all the rest of it. So I'm just along for the ride, right? It sounds awful, but that's kind of the attitude that I had to take on Saturday and Sunday, which is like, look, Mario Draco and the guys are doing everything they can to fix this. I cannot solve this for them, right? So I just have to sit here and do what I do and hope they get it working.
Right.
Which is frustrating, right? Because I'm the kind of guy that was, I want to fix stuff, right? But I can't fix this. So
well,
it was irritating.
Especially because for both of us, we're gonna look to take down that VOD and skip it up and stuff. And I'm almost wondering if I even want to release it, because it's like,
you know what? I downloaded all that stuff. I haven't even looked at it yet. I was gonna do that this afternoon. I'm almost afraid to, if I'm honest, right?
Now,
because it'll be the first time that I actually see what chat saw and heard on the event, and I'm almost afraid to watch it.
Now, I actually had the stream going on a second monitor, and I actually pulled up my headphones every now and then and listened into it.
Yours worked, mine didn't.
And so I could hear exactly what it was, and it was almost like it was almost like when you shout into a mic and you overload it, and then it just stops taking any sound. So like we were cutting out a ton. And now, Mar Draco, at one time, when Oskins and Bogsy were talking through everything, I went over to Mar Draco and I started talking with him, and he actually gave me his headphones and said, "I want you to listen to how you guys sound right now." And so I put the headphone on. We came through clear as crystal.
Right.
We were coming through clear as crystal. The problem was sending that signal to the camera crew and then getting that signal back. Now, I want to go back to that first comment I made. This is the first time that we've ever done it in this particular setup. So,
right.
I think everybody just expected it to be plug and play, and LOL, it was not.
Who knew, right?
Right, who knew? So, there was one comment that really stuck with me when I was watching it, and you had mentioned, some of the viewers talking about things. The one comment that really stuck with me was people saying, I could do a better job of this on my PC at home. Well,
that made me angry.
So I wasn't angry when I saw that, frankly, Raptor. I agreed with him and or her. I mean, like, frankly, when I'm streaming this right now with you guys, I hope I sound okay to you guys. I hope everything looks okay. There's no tech glitches and all that. But why? I can control all of this. I can control the mic I've got. I can control the way it sounds, the settings that go into it. I have control over OBS. I have control over all of this. The difference is, when we were doing our casting, there was no control. And even our guys in the Wargaming office had some control, but they didn't have complete control over everything that was being done. So I think that's a big part of it. There's one other piece that we haven't mentioned, and that was the fact that the Wargaming NA guys, they're using essentially somebody else's studio. They were borrowing the World of Tanks studio to do this setup. So they're even using somebody else's computers and all of that kind of stuff to put it all together. So long story short, as Duckman, as SAT Score said, we did the best that we could with what we had. It's unfortunate that it came out the way that it did. Obviously, we would have liked to have had a better experience, and if there's a way we could have made that happen on the fly, we definitely would have. As a matter of fact, if I remember right, Marta Draco did figure it out at the very end. He was able to put things together, and for our I think all but the first match of the finals, we came through fine, no clipping and stuff like that. Man's a genius. He figures out ways to connect things all over the place, and he did some magic essentially with the audio feed to make sure that it wasn't coming through all clipped like that. I'm just looking at chat to catch up on that. Anything else you want to add, Sea Raptor?
Hang on, trying not to die.
Oh,
failing. I'm really torqued at my team, like not providing any kind of support here, but I should be used to it in bronze.
Yeah. Duckman says, at some point I think I would have dropped the camera crew step. So let's go back to the talk about control. That was something that we had said, hey, can we not do this? And the answer was, we're using the cameras. So, that added to a little bit of the challenge in putting all this together. So, hopefully there's feedback. I know you guys as viewers were giving feedback. Hopefully that feedback is heard, looked at, examined, all that kind of stuff. I personally feel, and Raptor, you're welcome to contradict if you want, and I personally feel that the camera system, it's getting better. I feel like the guys are getting better at predicting what we are going to talk about, and they're good at finding things that we don't notice. What do you think?
I agree with you there, right? And it's like I said kind of when we were closing, right? There's been a lot of frustration with the remote cameras over the years, and understandably so. I mean, you and I don't know that anybody else went through the little, what would you call it? The
training?
Help sessions we did with them? Training, there we go. Training sessions we did with those guys.
Oh, yeah.
Trying to kind of help get them to understand what we do, how we do it, how the camera movement, how we do camera movement, et cetera, et cetera. Yep. And like you said, there's no denying that things have improved. Some of the frustration that I have when I do these events is because the players, I think, don't see the improvement. And I don't know why that is, because I can see it. So if I can see, is it because I have all this experience, right? I don't know. There are more cameras on the battlefield when we do this. That is always a good thing, because you and I say it all the time. When there's only two of us with two cameras, something's going to get missed. Period. End of discussion. Something's going to get missed.
Because typically,
you can't be everywhere.
When we're talking about something, we're looking at the same thing, maybe from a slightly different angle, but we're both looking at the same subject. So that does become a challenge. Absolutely.
Correct. So with that said, and again, I want to watch it, because the little clips that I was able to watch, I felt like the camera work was actually pretty solid. Mm-hmm. The audio issues are completely separated from that, so that's something in my mind that is easily addressable.
Right.
I think the one, and we talked about this with Monodraco and these guys, so this is not like some big revelation, okay? Mm-hmm. But the one thing that needs to get to kind of improve on our end, on the NA side, is we need to get, if they're gonna do this production in-house again with whatever setup they have, they need to have a tech session with the camera operation crew before we ever get there, right?
Yes, I think that was the practice that was missed on this one. It worked. It obviously worked the day before, it worked with the EU stream, and it seemed to work out flawlessly there. So, there needs to be something to connect the NA group with the camera crew and make sure that it works from there. And because the most frustrating thing, I can only imagine what Mardraco was going through, because you guys don't know this. He went out Friday night and then came to the office afterwards and then sat and worked on the setup for several hours.
The man didn't go to sleep on Friday night.
He didn't even go to sleep, guys.
He went out to dinner with us. He went to a rave.
And
then went to work.
And I called it. Remember, I said he's going to go to work.
Yes, you told me. You told me when he left dinner. You're like, he's going to go party, and then he's going to go back to the office. That's exactly what he did.
Yep. But so he thought he got everything dialed in. It sounded great. We'd done some tweaks. We did some testing. It sounded great. And then you go live, and then everything just doesn't work. So, I can't fault the guys at all on the NA side. And I can't.
No.
You know.
They did exactly the best that they could.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm talking about is a process improvement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is in the process of, let's say you and I do this again in the fall. Let's just assume that's going to happen for a minute.
Right.
The event is on Saturday. The Warships guys couldn't get in there until the tanks team finished whatever they were doing, right? So I got there 2:00 on Friday afternoon, and they were in there working. So let's just assume the tanks guys had something Friday morning, right? But what to me that means is that the Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, several days in advance of that, the Warships guys have to go in there and do some tech setup with the remote camera team to look at all of this stuff. Hey, how's my audio quality? What's coming back to me? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that step was missed this time because they had never done it before, right?
Yep.
The only time we've ever done this with the remote cameras, either I've produced the stream from home or
Right.
Draco has produced the stream from home. That's it. That's the only time it's ever been done.
And
So never before. Go ahead.
And it worked that time, so why wouldn't it work this time is what everybody's thinking.
Well, yes, it worked that time, but remember, some of the reason it worked that time, we were using different technology because everybody was in an individual place, right? Draco's ultimate solution for why the audio finally got better on day 2 or Sunday, day 4, was because he was like, the audio worked the last time we were doing this. Why did it work? Because we used this other utility to feed audio, not Discord.
Right.
And so he went to that and fed our audio to the remote team through that, and it got better. Was it perfect? No, but it was better. It was the best they were going to get. So, go ahead.
I think a lot of the big problem, and something we discovered, is frankly just how much Discord compresses audio and also video to a sense when it's being sent.
Yeah.
If you're going to compress it both ways, I mean, oof. I had another thought too, but go ahead and finish yours first, and then we'll go.
Well, I was just going to say, so DeLupus makes a point in chat. Basically, his point is, when the play is happening in a sporting event, let's say, the camera follows the play.
Right.
All right, that's reasonable, and I can't argue that point.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen these games. I'd have to go back and follow it. But here's the major difference between any sporting event you've probably ever watched and a Warships battle. There are plays happening all over the field, right? There is no one play in a Warships game. How many times have we been focused on one cap because something really exciting is going on and something equally exciting is on the other half of the board and we just don't have the cameras to cover it? With the remote camera crews, we at least eventually will get a replay of what we missed. It might only be 10 seconds, but it's more than we would have had if it had just been you and I.
Correct. So, I mean, now, Raining, you bring up the next thought that I'd had on this, okay? But yeah, some kind of picture-in-picture would be good. And they were actually doing that.
They have
that. They had it.
Yes.
Yeah. They had it. I noticed it.
They have that. Yes.
So I think if what we need to work on, or what maybe they need to work on, I guess, would be understanding how we control the cameras when we cast and say, okay, cameraman 1, cameraman 2, you are controlling the cameras like Zath and Raptor would control the cameras, or anybody else that casts for that matter, right? And then the rest of the crew, they're fanning out. They're the ones looking for moments to catch on replay or something along those lines. And then you can pop through it and go through all that kind of stuff. So, I think there's... I think what they're doing has a lot of potential. I just think we're not there yet. We're getting 100% better.
Agreed.
Yeah,
they are. They've come light years from where they started, right? Unquestionably. So you can see the improvement. Is it something that everyone's happy with? No. At the same time, I don't think you're ever going to make everybody happy with it.
No.
We did it. We continue to do it the old school way for so many other events and early days of the tournament that players are just used to that. Now, one of the suggestions that has been made is, and I know this has been made because we talked about it with them last fall or maybe last spring, I can't remember. But as the system was starting to get more and more use was, hey, take the caster camera, right? My camera or your camera, accept that as an input feed into your production, and occasionally use that view as well. Use it as another camera view. Is it going to be as fancy and cinematic? No, it probably isn't. But that doesn't make it, less useful or whatever. It's just another view that you have available to you.
Sure.
To this point, I don't know that that's even actually gone any farther than us suggesting it to them. But I feel like there's potential there if they were to explore it.
Yeah, and I think this is the problem that they're facing right now. They've got the camera system. They want the camera system to work, right? And
Yes.
the problem that they're facing is that when people are saying these cameras suck, I can't watch this, blah blah blah. Well, that doesn't tell them what the problem is. That's not really good quality feedback that helps them understand what to be looking for.
Exactly.
Instead, if people would say kind of what we had just said, when you watch a sports game, there's always one camera that follows the action, and then they switch to other ones. Can we please see more like that? Okay, well now that's something that that the camera team could look at and say, okay, this is helpful feedback, right?
Right.
Bart Draco should have partied harder. Well, I totally...
He did pretty well for himself.
Oh, yeah. And I totally don't have any blackmail pics of partying hard Sunday night. Do I, Raptor?
What, me sleeping in a hammock you think is blackmail?
I'm just kidding.
Are you kidding right now?
I'm just kidding, of course. No, we had a good time with that. But anyway, the other thing that I wanted to bring up that I was thinking of is... I think the other part of the problem, going back to Raining Recon and talking about compression, I think the other problem that we were running into, when the audio was cutting out, I think a lot of that was actually more packet loss than anything else. And I think the packet loss came because if you think about it, that signal is going from one location that is behind a firewall, and most likely a pretty well-secured firewall. If it's a video game company, they're not going to just be out on open Wi-Fi and everything. So they're going to be behind a firewall. Now they're sending the signal to another place that's behind a firewall, and I highly doubt they have any sort of like internal connection, right? And then they're taking that, doing something with that signal, throwing it back through another firewall to another place that has a firewall. And I feel like in the process of doing that, there was a lot that was missed in terms of the signal. It degrades a bit, and you lose some packets, and that's when things kind of cut out. So my other thought, and I haven't mentioned this to Boggsy yet, but my other thought would be it might be worth having a conversation about how can we set things up so that our computers, when they need to talk to each other, can do it easier, if you will, via the internet. I mean, for those of you at home, maybe some of you remember, configuring your router for port forwarding and stuff like that. Maybe something like that can be done to help reduce any sort of network issues. Just catching up with chat. DeLupus, yeah, right, okay. Camera works like a caster cam would. Yeah, there was a comment earlier too. I saw Android saying, well, there's a delay. Why can't they just cut it? And the problem is there's just not enough manpower for this. I mean, you have to think about what Mar Draco was doing. And I know you said they've got the money to afford doing it. And who knows? Maybe a year or two from now that the team's expanded and this kind of live editing can be done. But from what I was watching him do on Saturday and Sunday, he was trying to troubleshoot the audio situation. He was trying to make sure that all of us were showing up properly on the right screen at the right time. And so when he was listening to Boggsy say, let's talk about the prizes, he was already flipping to the prizes screen, okay? And then on top of all that, he's communicating with people in chat. He's banning people in chat. He's removing comments that are maybe a little on the toxic side of things. He's got a lot on his plate. He's 100% active for the entire duration. I remember at the very end on Sunday, he was asking me while we were, what was it? Raptor, you and I we were getting set up to go to the last game, the second game of that series, and Draco said, "Please tell me we're almost done." I said, "If whichever team wins again second, they go 2-0, then yes, we're completely done." And he said, "Oh, please."
Yeah.
So, Blitz, he can't have that. Oh, Blitz, he had work to do. He had work to do. So, but in any case, chat, do you guys have any other questions on this? I hope that we at least illustrated, the perfect storm, if you will, of problems that led to... Oh, I forgot the other problem. I completely forgot the other problem, Raptor. Do you remember the other one? How about the fact that the PCs that they were planning on using died like a week before the stream?
No, that wasn't it at all.
No?
Those PCs work perfectly.
Right, but my understanding was they had to build 2 new PCs for the stream.
Did you not get the lesson? Did you not hear why? Because it has nothing to do with the fact that those PCs didn't work.
Okay, why, sir?
Visitors, plebes such as you and I, are no longer allowed to use company assets like that. Uh-huh. We're not allowed to be on something that's inside the corporate firewall or whatever the technical term is, right? Whereas before, either nobody knew or nobody cared. I don't know which one, but now it's a big deal, and now it matters.
Okay. So what you're saying is they essentially had to build PCs for us because of that.
They had to build PCs for non-employees to be able to use, yes.
Right. And of course, if you do a lot with networking, you'd understand this. But if you have like multiple users on a PC, you've got your administrator account, and then you've got all of your sub accounts. Obviously, Raptor and I were sub accounts; we weren't administrator accounts. And if an administrator account changes some core setting, that could get passed along down to all of the sub accounts. And I do recall that being mentioned. So. Yeah, I mean that's we did the best that we could with the situation that we had. We tried to bring you guys at the very least a good stream. Unfortunately, there were problems. I really do hope though that they'll continue this and they'll talk things over about what needs to be done to fix it. And who knows, maybe this video, when it comes out on YouTube later, maybe they can use this video to listen through and talk through, okay, so from our perspective, what's working, what's not. And maybe, I don't know, Raptor, maybe you and I are giving them feedback by recording this video. I
don't know, maybe. Because we haven't actually done like a proper dedicated kind of feedback sort of session or nothing.
Right.
But we could.
We could, and you usually type up a big shtick about that too. And
yeah, typically, yeah. It's not always, but it's not that uncommon if we do.
Yeah. A solution: fly to Prague. Well, I mean, I would
joke all you want. That is a reasonable solution as far as I'm concerned. The question is, are they willing to do it? And that's not something I have an answer for.
Yeah, I would definitely not have a problem with going to Prague. I love the city, I've loved the place, and it would be great to meet a whole bunch of new people as well, and to see the EU office. So sign me up for that. But in the meantime, I know there's a lot of talk about if Warships can get their own kind of space where they can stream, they control their computers. Okay, well that takes care of one method of control we were talking about earlier that they didn't have, right? And then if they can get on, they could do some practice, of course, with the camera crew and get that figured out. Hey, then that's another thing that now we're getting more of that control dialed in. Ultimately, while it might have been terrible for you guys to be listening, nothing beat the experience of being there casting the finals. Nothing beats that experience because I'm there, Raptor's right next to me. There's body language we're picking up on, even though we're not like directly, staring at each other, obviously. So that's awesome because we feed off each other really well. Most of you guys have noticed this. But on top of that, you also have the other guys that are in there. You've got Bogsy and Askans that are giggling sometimes as they hear us, talk and say things and comment in certain ways. And sometimes you hear them go, ooh, and that made me look, okay, what just happened that I completely missed? And then I caught it and brought, hey, Raptor, did you see this happen? So there's so much value to being together and doing this, live in one place. I really do hope that they continue this, one way or another.
No, I agree. I think it'll be fine. I'm looking forward to the next time we get to pull this off, whenever that happens to be. And talking to the Warships team in Austin, they are acutely aware of what went well, what didn't go well, and what they feel like they need to be doing for next time. So, those guys, Bogsy, Escant, well, Draco's been there a while, but I think he's changed positions recently, and so you've got he and Escance and Legionnaire and all the guys there that are now part of the team. Like, they've got time now to fix it or to make some adjustments or some improvements, and it's just a question of management supporting them. And with Evan there, I have absolutely no concerns that won't occur. Personal. I mean, that point is Evan will absolutely back those guys up with whatever they want to do. Right.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And I think that's the kind of environment you need to cherish, to kind of get this growth, going and get these problems resolved. So, it sucks in the moment, guys, but you know what? Like Raptor said, 6 months from now, 8 months, 10 months, however long it is before the next tournament occurs. And God, you remember Raptor last summer? It was like the summer of tournaments. There were like 4 or 5 of them we did.
You did a lot more than I did because half of those conflicted with my schedule. Like there was just no way that I could do all of those flipping events. So I just didn't. And yeah, it's just kind of where we're at. So we'll see. I mean, maybe, as players are going to continue to run tournaments, casters like you and I and other people on both sides of all the various oceans are going to continue to do events like that as best we can, with whatever tools and options we have available to us. So the difference is that, when we're driving the cameras and everything, we control the horizontal, we control the vertical, as has been kind of jokingly noted. It's simply a question of whether or not this ranked game. You gotta be kidding me. Sorry. I'm now like on my own against an Alaska in my Buffalo. I'm half tempted to try and let us get a lead and then just go ram this guy for the win. You know what? F it. I'm so exactly. Well, will that work though? It won't work. It won't work. Yeah, he's radaring me now, but he can't see me. There's an island in the way. I'll be fine. I'm on Trident. I'm literally in my Buffalo. We're in the dead center of Trident while the Alaska goes into A to cap, and the game is like tied.
Gotcha.
So I have to go to C to try to cap, and it's going to be exciting to say the least.
Fair enough. So,
but anyway, we'll see. Like they've got time now. They've certainly got the impetus, the drive, how do we want to phrase it, right? So we'll see what happens. But I'm confident they're going to figure something out.
I think they will too. And there's plenty of warships to come. How was the food? The food was fantastic.
Are you kidding? It's Austin. The food is amazing. Look, Austin has the same problem that Houston has. If you're a bad restaurant and you make bad food, you don't stay open. You fail. You absolutely fail. So there is no bad food.
Yeah, that reminds me. I took pictures of most of what I ate. I should share that at some point. Hell, even the cheeseburger I had at brunch on Sunday was fantastic.
Yeah, you were really excited about that cheeseburger. I love a good burger. That just wasn't what I wanted for breakfast.
Yeah, well, see,
Brunch, breakfast, whatever.
I don't really eat eggs. So,
Okay.
like for me, that removed like 3/4 of the menu.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that's true. I mean, it is breakfast. Like eggs are the traditional American breakfast food. So there you go.
Yeah. So that worked out. I mean, the food was wonderful. To me, the people were where it was at. Being able to reconnect with people from before and then meet new people. This was the first time I'd ever met Mara Draco. It's the first time I'd ever met Oskance or Bogsy. So like that was, I mean, that was great. And I got more signatures to my shirt. Ryan's from Houston. There you go. So, any other questions, chat? Anything else that we can talk about regards to the tournament and the casting? I think we've pretty much kind of beat this into the ground here with how things went, and I gotta say I really appreciate you guys being interested in learning about this and wanting to understand, in a way that I can feel like I can be open about it without worrying about you guys essentially, trying to bite my head off or something. So, who won the tournament? The same guys that won the last King of the Sea, right? KSC.
Yes, that's correct. Yep, KSC was the ultimate victors. It was a really good final series. I thought going all 5 games was a lot of fun.
In fact, I almost the patch was okay. I almost want to like reach out to those guys and say, hey, can you guys send me some replays and just like you and I sit down and cast it with the proper audio and all that, That's a lot of work.
I was kind of hoping there would be after game like interviews with either teams.
Nah, I mean it's so hard to organize that and coordinate it. Usually, it can be done, but you have to kind of make plans in advance. And then the struggle is you don't have any idea which team. Like you go into the day, and you've got what eight possible teams that could be the final team. So you have to try and coordinate with 8 people to say, well, look, if you make it this far, like, can you stay around? I don't know. I've had more success with doing like after the event is over, you come back in a few days and do something. But doing it right after like that, in my mind, for me, it's very difficult to organize. It can be done. It's a lot of effort.
I enjoyed doing it the
I would
times
be
that we
fine
did
with
it.
your second suggestion. Kind of like stream on Wednesday after the event and have one of the winning team members come on for an interview.
I like it, actually. And I did that way back once. I did that once a long time ago. I think it was whatever King of the Sea it was that 07 finally knocked off whatever EU team that I got paired against, right? That
would be I think 8.
I think it was 8. I think it was 8 for the because for years on NA, that was the EU guys always acted like they were just so much better than us, and it was like, okay, sure. And then finally, when they lost an international championship like that, it felt like they didn't know how to react, like they just didn't know what to do. And it was really funny, and I had the 07 guys on for about 30-40 minutes after that. I think we rewatched the final game, and then I had them on for a little while, and it was fun.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, that's something that we could definitely look into putting together for future stuff. Sure.
Yep. Zath, this ranked game, this just absolutely makes me sick. Sick to my stomach. I'm in a Buffalo. I have 146,000 damage, a kill, a full cap, and we lost 1,000 points to 964.
You want to send me the replay? We can take a look at it.
Oh my God! I should send you the screenshot of my games today. Right? I am 2-7 in ranked, and I'm exactly where I started the day because I've lost one. No, Zath. That's 2 hours of my time I don't get back for no gain. That's not good.
Hey, no. You got some XP. You got some credits. You're 2/3 of the way to your first drop of steel.
Well, I am. Why? Oh, because I won 2 games?
Yes.
Thanks. You're so bloody helpful.
You're welcome.
You're amazing.
I do what I can.
Oh, God. All I'm trying to do is get to rank 5, which of course you can't lose in bronze. And then I can just derp around and do whatever. And I cannot get a team that will live long enough for that to happen.
I mean, you know,
Irritating.
if I could give you some friendly advice, you're trying too hard.
Well, I know that. I know that, Zaf. I started my day with Johan de Witt, right? Which is a terrible ship for ranked. And I'm just like, sooner or later, statistics say I'll get on a team that has the collective IQ that makes this, that will generate a win, right? That hasn't happened yet. And after 9 tries, I'm kind of getting angry. So
When will then be now? Soon.
I know, soon. Yes, exactly. Right.
That was your mistake. You took the
I know.
Johan de Witt. You should take the Harlem.
Yes, as you saw.
Yeah,
just
so
now.
I took Johan. I had some really good games in Johan. I don't think I ever lost a star in Johan, but we never won a game. I just took a Buffalo, and I couldn't drag this team to a win by like soloing a destroyer and capping a point and mauling a Jean Bar and like, oh god, what else am I supposed to do here? It's bad enough that I'm actually not just trying to grind boats. I'm like try-harding because I want to get 2 wins.
That's what I mean.
2 stars.
You're trying too hard. Just go back to. Let's just screw around. You'll be fine.
Oh my god! I want to just get 2 stars so I can log out for the day. I'm about to play. I'm about to play Radar Neptune. Zach. I'm about to play Radar Neptune.
You're gonna hurt
just
yourself
so I control
even
my
more.
team. Just so I control my team as hard as I've been getting trolled. I'm just saying.
I have concerns.
Oh, right.
Fine, I'll play Radar Edinburgh. Let's go.
Well, hey, thanks for joining in. I'm gonna this will be the end of what I post to YouTube, of course, but you know, I really do hope it helped to shine a light into a situation that was beyond the control of pretty much everybody, and you know, kind of allows you guys to get an idea of what happens behind the scenes when we do these kinds of casting. Rating says here, let me log in and help influence the statistics for you.
Oh, just what I need. Just what I bloody need.
There you go. Start streaming so he can snipe you.
Yes, totally. That'll fix it.
All right, guys. Well, I think it's time for some dirty water.